Welcome back. Welcome back. Rumors of my demise are over exaggerated and very premature. Back in the saddle today. We've got some fun stuff to take a look at. Yes, indeed. Before the Nano Girl joins me on the main show in just over an hour from now. So make your way in single file. Safe space rules apply. What are those rules, I hear you say? I don't know. I make it up as I go along. There we go. There we go. That was a bit of a dramatic end to that little tune there. There we go. A little bit of background music as we come into the stream and say hello to all of you good people out there. Yes, we're back. We're back. I didn't think I'd be live streaming quite as soon as we are today. So listen, let's go with it. Let's make the most of it. Nano Girl is going to be with me over on the show today. And she is called today's get together, The Big Decision. Now you'll be able to find Nano Girl's notes for the show over on kevbakershow.com. And we will get to that very shortly. I'll show you how to get there before we leave today. We've got some weird stuff coming from the Vatican. I just have to take a look at this and see what's going on there. We have also got a very interesting article about Sir Isaac Newton. No, it's not about him and an accident with an apple. So we'll get into that before we hand off over or head on over. Hand off over? Don't know where that came from. Head on over to get the Nano Girls. Who have we got kicking about in here today? Yes, I'm taking it very chilled, very relaxed today. We'll try and get through this. Polly Nation is in there. We've got Patty B, Onslow, Marcia, good to see you. St. Marionette, Sidvich. Go on, Sid, how good is your PS5, brother? How good is it, man? I can only imagine. Well, I don't need to imagine. My son got one, so yes, he has showed me. Absolutely mind-boggling. We have got Rick in there. We have got the Wookiee. You know your children are getting old when they start buying their own consoles. That's like a kick in the stones. Ouch. Ouch. Bernays Sauce. Good to see you, Bernays. Who else is kicking about in the crazy room? Kazzy. Good to see you. Throwing in a couple of unicorns there. Big shout out to all the members. Apologies for not doing a stream this week. Just wasn't feeling up to it, folks. And if you haven't heard what's happened, well, tough because I ain't getting into it now. We ain't going down that road right here. We have got the Wookiee in there. We've got ZX, Gemini, Moon. If I've missed you out, it's not deliberate. Patty B, Greg. Yeah, listen, I'll get back to you. Onslow. I think I missed you out, Onslow. Nobody misses out, Onslow. Jules. Nobody puts Jules in the corner either. Yes, there you go. So then, listen. Will we get into a little bit of this? Let's head on over to Studio B. Yes, that's where it all goes on over at Studio B. Will we get rid of that silly white line there? There we go. There we go. Yes, now, if you didn't know, and I would hope you do know, but if you don't and you would like to become a member of the channel, we have that here. We've got you covered. All you got to do is just tickle that join button. Not chickle it, tickle it. It definitely helps if you even click it, probably. And you can find out more. And you can join our 51 members so far. We've plateaued out at 51 members. Now, we had 150 when we were over on the bigger channel. So 100 people have disappeared. They've just up in smoke, like Houdini. They've been vanished. Yes, I think that kind of gives you the idea of the kind of when you've got a bigger channel, the algorithm puts you out to more people, more subscribers get the notifications. You know how that all works. But I would love for you to join our shenanigans that we have going on a Sunday. And again, apologies for missing Warrior Mode as well. I really was AWOL this weekend, wasn't I? But I tell you, we might take a look at it just now, actually. Maybe you missed it. but I was over on Arcane Radio the other night. It should be in here somewhere. There it is there. Yes, there it is. Oh, we've got a pesky ad to get through. Hang on now. There we go. This is a show I was on with Lon. There's yours truly there, handsome bugger. Paranormal Scotland Strangeness. Arcane Radio, and it was 9 PM at the weekend. That's why there was no Freaky Friday. Really enjoyed hanging out with Lon. Lon's going to be coming back on KBS really soon. We're going to be getting into the whole flying humanoid ongoing flap that's been going on for years now up in and around Chicago area, Illinois. But yeah, if you haven't checked this out, I'm going to drop it over in the chat room. Really good show. And give Lon a sub. Really good channel. Again, a very much under-subscribed channel. Yeah, there you go. So if I put that in the chat room. There we go. Boom. It's in there. So then, we've got that. What else do I want to show you? Yeah, we've got this here. This is Nano. It's going to be on later on. Just put the slides together. Bada bing, bada boom. Retired Israeli space security chief says aliens exist, but humans aren't ready. So that's a taste of what's to come with Nano Girl tonight. Oh, can't wait for that. Now then, what I brought you here to talk about today, and we need to talk about this because this is a bit bizarre. As is my music, I hear you all saying in the background, yes, yes. Not the worst one, right? It's got a 80s kind of synth wave kind of feel to it, I think. It's cyberpunky. We'll get back into our cyberpunk walkthrough very soon, folks, very soon. We only played a couple of hours of it the first time, and looking forward to getting back into that. But probably be the weekend or when they've ironed out a few of the glitches, because I tell you what, some of the glitches that I've seen kicking around, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. So, what I brought you here today to talk about, we talk about some weird stuff right here on the Kev Baker Show and on the live stream, but never, okay, maybe never. Maybe not never. But the other day, I was kind of taken aback. And it takes a lot to shock me online nowadays. It takes a lot to shock anyone, I would imagine. Especially after surviving 2020 thus far. But it's the Vatican nativity scene. This here, ladies and gents, is what I think we need to have a look at. And a little talk about. Before we head on over and get the Nano Girl today. Because I've seen a whole level of high strangeness and bizarreness coming from the Vatican over the years. But this right here, it might just take the full biscuit. It's exceeded everything that's gone before it. And again, you've got to put this into some kind of KBS alternate reality kind of context, where we're now living in a time where we've got a soft, government-controlled disclosure of alien technology, alien craft, all that kind of good stuff going on in the background. And now you've got the world's Catholic Church, you know, I think it represents, what, 1 billion odd people? I may be wrong, numbers may be off. Hey, it's an alternate reality we're in, right? But they've chosen what looks like something that Giorgio Tsoukalos would put together for a ancient aliens Christmas party. And this is their nativity scene. Yes, indeed. Some Vatican woo. You cannot beat... What am I... You know, I had a message pop up on the screen there and I almost read out the message. You cannot beat some Vatican woo. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say there, right? So, we've got this, and we're going to go first to the Vatican News, no less. Yes, and see what they're saying about this. Marcia, we're on the same frequency. Yeah, I don't think anyone can see this and not be a bit weirded out by it. And I'm not saying it's like some harbinger of doom or or one of the four horsemen or anything. But, but, okay, let's get into it. It says, behind the Vatican's Christmas crib, the life-size ceramic statue holds a cultural heritage not immediately visible to the eye. No kidding. Adding to the excitement and anticipation they bring as they recount the story of the birth of the baby Jesus. Yes, indeedy. Now, this character here, my good friend Nancy, she'd sent me through a picture, and it says, so now Jesus is a big blonde chick.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Maybe it is. Maybe in the year 2020 it is. They're going to try and pull off the ultimate Mandela effect on us. I don't know. Listen, let's get into it here. So this is by Francesca Merlo. The giant ceramic sculptures lit up on December the 11th in St. Peter's Square are there to represent and illuminate, or is that Illuminati, the story of the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, reflecting the of his coming. Now, Pope Francis, the definitely the hippest pope in my lifetime, during the Angelus on Sunday, that the expectation we feel throughout Advent is a joyful one at the heart of the Christian story. It's precisely this joy that the crib in St. Peter's Square is there to bring. But this particular nativity scene tells another story, and one that is not captured with a single look. No, you can't really look at that just the once and then kind of, oh well, it is just the Vatican nativity. I can see, what can I see there? What can we see? And we're going to take a look closer in a moment. Don't you worry about that. I got you covered. Got you covered, man. I got us like access all areas to the Vatican. How cool would that be? You know we wouldn't get to the vault. They wouldn't let us in there. So it says, it is perhaps this hidden story that has caused the criticism of some onlookers who have reacted negatively to what they perceive as a representation of the birth of Jesus that looks so different to the more traditional ones. Ah yes, the time for traditional ways are at an end, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the age of the space aliens. Yep, I'm only joking. So, the statues. Now, the contemporary nativity scene is in fact different. Is in fact slightly different. You are not kidding. Made up of a small part of a 52-piece collection. Is that like 52 pieces that look like this? Is that this 10D chess that I keep hearing about on the internet? Is that what they're playing with? Are these the players in the 10D chess? If we sussed out, let's not even get into the Tesla electricity, the bolts of like energy here that are flying across things. Well, we will get into it. But yeah, 52-piece collection. I'm telling you, that's 10D Star Wars nativity chess. The nativity scene is composed of life-sized ceramic statues made in the typical style of Castelli in Italy, internationally known for its ceramic artwork. Big 1973. Greetings from Scotland to Scandinavia, man. We're a big hit in Scandinavia. Quite like that. Liking it. Loving it long time. I don't even charge $5. Well, if you become a member, maybe. It took over 10 years for the students and teachers of the F.A. Grew Art Institute of the town to build and complete the full collection. So this was built in 1965, way before Giorgio and the Ancient Aliens team. I'm sorry, I shouldn't joke about that. But doesn't it look like a nativity scene that they would have on Ancient Aliens? I think it would. They would have that David Childress guy there. Yes, what you can see here is definitely evidence of ancient aliens. He doesn't speak like that, but you get me. Okay, that's another guest we're never getting on the show. In his letter, Admirable Signum. Okay, Admirable Signum, signed in December 2019, Pope Francis wrote, "It is customary to add many symbolic features to our nativity scenes, and one on top of these, children, but adults too, often love to add to the nativity scene other figures that have no apparent connection with the gospel accounts. Yet, each in its own way, these fanciful additions show that in the new world inaugurated by Jesus, there is room for whatever is truly human and for all of God's creatures. Yes, indeedy. The inauguration of the nativity scene, along with the Christmas tree, another pagan symbol, but hey, let's not split hairs, right? A spruce from one of Slovenia's best preserved forests. I'm surprised they didn't get one from the bottom of Lake Vostok. I mean, the Pope was down at Antarctica not long ago, right? A few years ago. Probably a different Pope. I can't remember. Maybe it was another alternate timeline. Who knows? And it took place with limited people due to the woohoo pandemic. So for this reason, Pope Francis said icons of Christmas are now, more than ever, a sign of hope for the people of Rome and those pilgrims who will have the opportunity to come and admire them. Well, that won't be too many people then, old Popey. So we've got that there. And of course, it's inevitable. In the world we live in today, I would be highly, highly, highly confused and a bit disturbed if this image hadn't set the Twitterati on fire. So we're going to take a look at some of the tweets that were sent out about this thing. Some of them quite funny, some of them quite serious as well. And I might be having a laugh about this, folks, but there's a very serious side to this. You know my approach on KBS2 here. It's fun, it's woo, but that doesn't mean I'm like totally naive to a bigger picture, bigger stuff going on. And Patty, you nailed it in the chat room. You know, a new form of religion, a new set of idols, a new religion for a new age. Oh man, they might steal that over at the World Economic Forum. I better coin it. So it says, is the Pope just trolling Christianity? This is the derpiest thing I've ever seen. So we're going to take a look at some of these pictures closer now. And here we have this Tesla. I describe this as a Tesla coil, but it also looks like the discs in a spine, doesn't it? Like the vertebrae going up the back. 33 discs, vertebrae, just in case you're wondering. And what age was Jesus when he died? 33. No coinky dinky there. Nothing to see here. Move along. And here you have the big, like, lightning bolts. That's kind of weird, kind of crazy. Another look here. I mean, is this meant to be Mary, and this is the baby Jesus here? I see, it's easy to get confused, or I don't know. Is this Mary? Is this Joseph? Who's it? Is this Jesus? Again, if that's Jesus, it looks like Hillary Clinton in a wig, like a long wig. Not a good look. This looks like, is it Pee Wee Herman? Remember that cartoon, Pee Wee? I think it's Pee Wee Herman. If we move along, the only thing that looked normal there is the goat and the horned. Well, it looks like a bear wolf. Is that Al Gore? Man, bear pig. There's Darth Vader. Now, this is the one that should really disturb anyone. Now, are these two of the three kings, like the wise men? Or are they just random alien dudes turning up with Captain America's shield? I mean, that, you know, Patty says art is no longer art. Patty, you have to remember as well, this isn't even modern. This comes from the 60s. But that being said, think of what was going on in the 60s. We had the Apollo and the whole space race, the Cold War thing going on. That probably, maybe, potentially contributed to it. But this character here, now there's a cartoon. There's definitely a cartoon where this character's helmet, it rings a bell with me. But I'm not sure what cartoon it is, and I can't even think how I would Google something I don't know the name for. Probably in the next week there'll be an algorithm to snatch that thought out of my head, and it'll know what to look for, and it'll present me the answer. But we're not there yet, are we? Not quite. But yeah, pretty dang weird, right? Pretty dang weird. And this definitely looks like something that you would see on Ancient Aliens. It does. You can't get away from that. And it looks like some scene out of Star Wars. At the head of the Catholic Church in a country not far from you, in a galaxy not so far away. It's the Ancient Aliens nativity scene. See? I'm telling you, man, we've got it all going on here. Sound effects. We've got Ancient Aliens. The memes make themselves. How it started, how it's going. Isn't that quite profound, actually? All my joking, and it's crap joking, I'm very quick to admit, but all of my joking and laughing aside, how did we get from that to that? Now listen, I tell you something, I'll be highly controversial here, because it's what I do. I'm very open to the fact, or to the possibility, that when this was taking place, when the birth of Christ was occurring, I'm one of these quasi-Christians, as I describe myself, where I think God's house has many rooms in his mansion, and there's different ways of interpreting things, and I think there are other beings out there that God created. And if we had this mega spectacular thing going on in the universe, well, in my highly speculatory reality that I live, why wouldn't a couple of ancient aliens come and watch that? Almost like emissaries from the Galactic Federation. You don't think there's a Galactic Federation? Well, you know, you have to stay tuned. Because Nano Girl is going to be explaining how the ex-Israeli head of space security, not just some janitor sweeping a corridor, how he's talking about we're in contact with these aliens. Now, if these aliens are out there and they're far more ancient than us, could they have been there at the nativity scene? And this is why I trigger so many Christians. I don't even wonder why it happens. I know why it happens. So in which the Vatican's 2020 manager includes a joint Viking alien invasion. Now that Viking-ish, there's a cartoon character with that helmet. Tell me who it is, folks. Surely somebody knows who it is. And what's this one actually carrying? I know we had like the gold, frankincense, and myrrh thing going on in the original story, if we're going to stick to any part of that. We've got some guy with a giant tickling instrument. I mean, if aliens come across the galaxy and they step out for a fight with feathers on the end of sticks, we're laughing. We're absolutely laughing, folks. We are going to conquer them. Trust me, we'll be fine. Can you imagine lying there in the manger, just having given birth, you know, all of this going on, and then these two stroll in? Do they even stroll in? Do they just manifest in the corner? Holy begolly, man. The last thing you need to be seeing, right? What's this thing? Is this like a giant red egg? Is this where Jesus emerges from? It's... Now that there, so you've got them wearing what looks like some kind of... That looks like some kind of part of their garment, right? Crazy 80s looking, what do you call that? Like the shoulder pads. Remember when shoulder pads were in for the girls and things? Dudes should never be wearing shoulder pads. It shouldn't ever have been a thing. Some did. Shouldn't have been a thing. But this here, yeah, we've got this here going on. Now it looks like, is this arms? Are its arms made out of like pipes, vacuum cleaner type arms? Is this a part of the tunic, that little circle? Is it like a baby duck that it's holding? I have no idea. No idea. Are these the orbs some people report to see? Was one coming with a gift? And why has the thing got no eyes? Which is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Very profound nose. Very human looking nose. We could also maybe make a case for Darth Vader here being the Lord of the Black-Eyed Entities, because that there is pretty terrifying. And bear in mind, while we laugh and we wonder and we kind of sit in bemusement at what's going on here, this is the Vatican's nativity scene. You know, I'm not a Catholic, but if I was devoutly, I mean, what is going on here? What is going on? Holy shamoly, eh? Now, you see, this is the kind of thing that amazes me as well. I mean, you've got these kind of carvings into some of the cathedrals and some of the architecture from the ancient world. Now, come on, is there any other way of looking at that thing on the right-hand side of the screen without thinking astronaut? Is there? I don't think so. What is the simulation trying to tell us, ladies and gentlemen? Just what is going on here? What crazy page of reality have we turned into? I do not know. So when you're humble, the outdoor nativity scene outdoes the Vatican nativity. Now, that's what it's all meant to be about. So I always had the image of. Just weird. Really, really weird. Again, this whole the electricity bolts. Just weirdness. High weirdness. And of course, look at that, sitting right underneath the obelisk. Damn, dude. Yeah. Strange. So that's the baby Jesus. Holy shamoly. Where are the woke cancel culture mob? There's definitely cultural inappropriations going on here. Look, I don't need to be an expert in anything to know that the baby Jesus coming from the Middle East looked nothing like that. I'm just saying, you know, just saying. Yeah, exactly. Still better than the Vatican nativity. Yep. Moloch. Horned. So somebody's claiming that's Moloch. We'll get back and we'll see Moloch. Where is he? You know, you can't get away from the fact he is horned. What does Moloch look like? Images. Oh boys, oh boys, oh boys. Oh boys, oh boys, oh boys. Oh, Moloch there. I can't say it's looking too dissimilar at the moment. Oh, that's the wrong one. Back to where we were. Where were we? No. Get a better picture of him. This picture. That's that again. Why can't we find Darth Vader now? How terribly, terribly disturbing. Where's Darth gone? Back to the top. It was up at the top, wasn't it? We had it up there somewhere. There he is. Yeah. I mean, it's not exact, but for the sake of a good yarn on a YouTube video, we'll go there, right? We'll go there. I'm not joking. What do you make of it, folks? Pretty weird, right? Pretty weird. Yeah, man, pretty strange. I'm going to see what you people have got to say about all of this. So, because in the end of the day, I think we've all gathered that I find it very weird, very strange, very ancient aliens. And I think it was Patty that said, probably more of you have said as well. On a more serious note, that this is a little indication, a little flavor of taking us away from what traditional religion and belief systems have been and getting us ready to embrace this space brotherly love that's just around the corner. Isn't it great, folks? Isn't it great? Come on, you love it, really. I'll be back in just a moment. We'll be getting into the chat and we'll be taking a look at the Isaac Newton Code. That's right, folks. We'll be back. We'll be talking about the ancient aliens at the Vatican, just what is going on. Are we in a galaxy far, far away? Did somebody slip us through a wormhole? We best go and check the nativity story. Maybe Mandela has changed it. Maybe we're the ones in the wrong. Imagine how weird that would be. Oh, holy shamoly. Yeah, just in case, because I've got a memory like a Rolodex at times. Some things that stick in my mind. And this is a story that has always stuck in my mind. We go back to 2014. Fire up the chronovisor, he says. Vroom, 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 vroom. I don't know if the chronovisor sounds like that. I don't know what this action's all about, but that's how we start the chronovisor now. This week, anyway. Remember when the Pope said he would baptize aliens? What? Yeah, what? Yeah, remember when the Pope said he would baptize aliens? 2014. 2014. The man in the girly frock and the sparkly slippers. What a dude, looking fetching. Pope Francis has said that he'd be willing to baptize aliens, green men, little greys, Nordics, Andromedans, Alpha Centurions, even the ones with the pesky probe. If they came to the Vatican asking, who are we to close the doors to anyone? Even Martians. Dun, dun, dun.
Excuse me, it's man.
I made no reference to gender, you silly sound clip. I was relating to the planet Mars. Yes. Why does that tie in with what we're going to be talking about with Nano Girl? Because that's another bold claim that Israeli ex-head of space security dude, Erad something his name is. I apologize to Mr. ex-head of security, the Israeli Space Force or whatever they're doing. But he talked about bases on Mars. What?
Come on, man.
Oh, he really did. He really is talking about bases on Mars as well. So I thought I'd just throw all that into the mix, just to really confuse the ruse. No idea where that came from. Didn't work. It's okay. I would rewind, but we'll save that one. What are the chatters saying today? Yes, there are no Martians. They all passed. ZX, brother. Shh. Ready? We're the Martians. What if we came from Mars? It was a question. It wasn't a statement. That's what we do on here. I like to get that neural pathways exercised. I like you to do the hard work. And by hard work, I just mean thinking for yourself. You know, even if it's to think what an absolute clown this Kev Baker show is, at least it's an original thought that you've had yourself. And nobody packaged it up for you as a little psychological weapon over on social media. But that's for another show altogether. So what are you chat people saying about what's going on at the Vatican? Yes, at the Vatican, I declare. Malaya, yep, you see, Malaya, I am useful for only a few things, and remembering headlines and crappy stories is one of them. Yep. War Child, a gas giant from that planet, that gas planet. Yep. Ah, you almost got me, man. Almost got me. D-Wave is located 14 hours south of me in Vancouver. And all the other D-Waves around the world. Yes, indeedy. And there are a few. And they're all on the new one now. Because once you buy one, that's you. You're kind of in it for life. You sell your soul to the D-Wave, man. You're in it every upgrade. You're on it. Let's see. Aliens are far superior to us, and he wants to baptize them. ZXA, they might be bedazzled by the man's sparkly shoes. I mean, come on. Not many dudes. You can't see his shoes in there. Not many people can get away with that. There we go. I mean, look at this cheeky little Dolce & Gabbana number. Hey, listen. Only cost you £975, folks, for the official Dolce & Gabbana Pope edition. Now, for an extra $1,000, I am told by an insider that I can't name that you might be able to float. Dare I say it, there's a rumour, a myth, that if put on the right feet, you'll be able to walk on water. It's not me saying that, it's Dolce & Gabbana. You need to read the small print, but there you go, folks. For a cheeky little 975, I think that's actually quite bloody good. 975 shekels for a pair of sparkly popey shoes. Nice. Very woke and bespoke is the Pope. Oh, there's definitely a joke in there somewhere, right? Ah, yes, Polynation, I know. $1,000 so that you could look like... where have you gone? Is he over here? Yeah, so you can look like him. Now listen, before the algorithm thinks I'm picking on this man, I'm not. I'm full of admiration for him. I don't know if it's his shoes I want or his hat. Yep. Doesn't his hat make him look like a bit of fruit that just needs to be... Probably going to get kicked off the tubes for even going there, but... Hey ho, that's the way it goes. So I've got a little story about Isaac Newton coming up. I'm talking about bits of fruit. No, it's not about him and that pesky bloody apple. Somebody needs to go back in a time machine and tell, oh, Isaac, sit under a different tree, man. It was Newton that got hit by the apple, wasn't it? Bloody hope so, or I am really thick. This is the aliens that are playing us in now. This is number one up in Sirius B. Yeah, Sirius B. This was number one back in 1976. Rocket. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Stand by. Stand by. Jackie coming in on a tier 2. Oh, thank you so much, Jackie. I honestly thought people had stopped loving me. There we go. That'd be a grift and a half, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? That'd be a LARP and a half. Start a GoFundMe for my Pope slippers. Yes, folks. All I need is £975, and I can sit here and speak to you like a half-dressed Pope. 975 quid for a pair of slippers. Have they never been to Pound World? They need to come and shop in the East End of Glasgow, man. We keep it real over here. We could get a set of them in the Barras for a £5. I bet you I can. It's coming up for Christmas Eve in the Barras. The Barras is it's like a myth. It's like a legend. It's like a piece of folklore. I tell you, if you can survive a Christmas Eve in the Barras back in the day, you came out a stronger person. It really, really did. It makes the nativity scene at the Vatican look like literally child's play. But I reckon if you knew the right person, you'd probably be able to get yourself a set of those slippers way below the price, right? Way below the price. Do you reckon he's got like an image kind of deal with them? Like Dolce & Gabbana, do you think he like had to sign a deal? You can get sponsorship deals as the Pope. How cool is he going to look when he starts coming out with like company names, Facebook and Google? And... Yeah, boy. Yeah, you know it. Sponsored by the UN. Pope on a rope. Oh, that'd be awesome. What a marketing campaign, man. I'm telling you. So anyway, we're going to take a look at something that I've heard about over the years. I think it's really interesting. And a big shout out to Jackie. Loving the hairdo, Jackie. Looking cool there. And you're now a member of the madness over here on KBS 2, where we keep it fun and woo. But Isaac Newton, interesting character, right? Let's take a little look at his deets before we get into this story. We'll go to the highly reliable Wikipedia. The library, or the digital library of Alexandria. There he is there, a handsome looking guy. Bit of a schnoz on him, but bit of a nose. Oh, wait a minute, hang on now. With a nose like that, it makes me think of... Oh, not that one. No, I got the wrong one. Wrong one. Remember that? Remember the schnozzle on the other one? Where was the schnozzle? The space alien dude. That one. He's got a nose like him. We'll go back. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But he was kicking around back in 1643. So 1643 until 1727. Now, we've got a bit of a discrepancy over the ages here. But we get a rough kind of time period for what we're talking about. Brainy, interesting dude. Now, like I said to you, we're going to talk about this character quickly. Not quickly, but we'll go over a story that's doing the rounds about him right now. But usually, Isaac Newton apples gravity, right? That does him such a disservice. Such a disservice. This guy was like boffin extraordinaire. And he was like trying to decode the Bible. He thought there was a way to decode the timeline of events in the Bible, that kind of thing. And that's similar to the story that I've got for us today. The guy is, says here, was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author, described in his own day as a natural philosopher, who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time, and as a key figure in the scientific revolution. His book, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, and I know if Great Hodgie's listening, he's just shoved his fingers in his ears and thought, don't speak Latin, Kev. I know. First published in 1687, established classical mechanics. Now, Newton also made seminal contributions to optics and shares credit with Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz for developing infinitesimal calculus. Just another day for Isaac Newton, right? Well, on one of his down days, one of his off days, when he was pursuing another project, check out what he was getting into. The burnt Great Pyramid notes reveal Isaac Newton's research into the apocalypse. Oh, super woo. Super woo. So we'll read down some of this here. And it says, Sir Isaac Newton, the acclaimed physicist, mathematician, and astronomer, may be one of the most renowned scientists of all time, but his wide-ranging research took him to strange places far outside what we now consider to be science. And I think we need to get back to considering all of these things as kinds of science, right? Amidst his outstanding legacy of academic output, numerous fragments and unpublished notes, many discovered after his passing in 1727, stand as a testament to his long and said to be obsessive interest in matters of the occult, alchemy, and biblical apocalypse theory. Now, these mystical leanings, much of which would have been considered heretical thinking in Newton's day, are evidenced in some fragmentary manuscript notes currently been auctioned by Sotheby's. So they're selling these things off. It says, in this case, the texts are literally fragments, in that they are scorched survivors of a fire said to have been started by an upset candle accidentally toppled by Newton's dog Diamond. Now, whether that's just a story to add some value to these or not, if it's true, great story, right? But here's the actual thing we're talking about. It looks like somebody's shopping list, although probably far more intellectual than that. What's it look like, Anne? It looks like Anne's birth certificate. Good point. You do look like... No, you don't look like you were around in the 1700s, Anne. Whether that purported chain of events is entirely true isn't clear. But what is clear is that this flame-licked sheets form part of Newton's lesser-known canon, dealing with obscure theories we would now firmly categorise as pseudoscience. Well, one man's pseudoscience is another man's escaping the matrix information. I know, it's another man's science, right? In the pages, which at time of writing have a leading bid of holy shimoly. Do you know how many pairs of Vatican slippers you could get for that? Somebody tell these people, hang on. How cool would you look though? You know, pipe. You get puffing on the pipe. Sitting there, your Hugh Hefner on, your sparkly burgundy Dolce & Gabbana numbers, reading your Isaac Newton notes. How bloody interesting would you look to anyone who walked into that room at that point and they'd think, whoa, what have I just walked into here? Slightly creepy as well. I hear you. I don't know where I get my sound. In fact, I do know. It was, what was that show? Oh, Charlie Sheen, 2.5 Men. Hey, listen, if you've seen it, you'll get it. If you haven't, you'll it. So, Newton muses on ancient Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza. How the hell did I get to the 2.5 Men from Isaac Newton? Oh, I tell you. Links and connections, as Veltman would call it. Hey, boom, boom. Which Newton believed was designed around the ancient Egyptian unit of measurement called Geordie Rose's cubit. I mean the royal cubit. Newton thought that by quantifying the royal cubit, he might be able to refine his own theories on gravitation, and in so doing provide an unprecedentedly accurate measure of the circumference of the Earth, while also unlocking other obscure and sacred geometrical insights that might ultimately predict when the world would end, as foretold by the Bible. But no man knoweth the hour. See, I know that. Quote, he was trying to find proof of the theory of gravitation, but in addition, the ancient Egyptians were thought to have held the secrets of alchemy that have since been lost. Gabriel Heaton, Sotheby's manuscript specialist, told The Observer, now there's the kind of guy that if you went round to his house, you might well find him sitting in the Hugh Hefner and the burgundy slippers. See? Today, they seem disparate areas of study, but they didn't seem that way to Newton in the 17th century. Up. Need to get your pipe out for this one. Newton wasn't the first to have these sorts of ideas, and he was also not the last. While such pyramidology, has now drifted outside the bounds of serious science, depending on where you look on the internet at least, once upon a time it's consumed the attention of one of the greatest minds on the planet, and that's a horrible paragraph. Newton wasn't the first to have these sorts of ideas, and he was not the last. Now, while such pyramidology has now drifted outside the bounds of serious science, says who? Says who? Says the scientists that have built careers on the back of their own theories that they're not willing to give up. You know, we're all pyramidologists here because we know that little about them. I think it's okay to sit and wonder, come up with new theories, new ideas. In fact, if we'd never come up with new ideas and theories, even the bad ones, we wouldn't quite get to where we are today, right? But hey, these notes are part of Newton's astonishingly complex web of interlinking studies. Natural philosophy, alchemy, theology, only parts of which he ever believed were appropriate for publication, and the auction listing explains. It's not surprising that he did not publish on alchemy, since secrecy was a widely held tenet of the alchemical research, and Newton's theological beliefs, if made public, would have cost him at least his career. Maybe more than that, folks. And that's the end of that there. There's another story there I was going to get into yesterday. The Zodiac bad man. They've cracked one of the ciphers that they've been trying to crack for 50 years. But it's an interesting story. Just when I've seen it on the bottom of that one there, thought I'd bring it up. I would like to get into some more real crime type content moving forward. Not all that, but bringing in people to talk about some of the more famous cases, you know, like we do in Warrior Mode sometimes. An author out there, William Ramsey, he's got a channel here on YouTube. I'll try and bring it up just now. He's the kind of person I'm talking about. William Ramsey Investigates. I think that's the name of the channel. Yeah, bring you over here. This channel here. He interviews a lot of authors as well. Author David Livingston discusses her new work. He does a lot of work on something called the smiley face killers, if you've heard of that. This one here, the other day, I was listening to this one, The Dark Web, author Aileen Ormsby. She's talking about her experiences with the dark web, things like that. Hollywood stuff. Some of the bigger cases, folks, like the bigger kind of serial cases and celebrity cases. Was it John Bonet, that case as well? Yeah, so moving forward, I'd like to get into a bit more of that content. I find that really interesting. When I'm not on here streaming and I've got some downtime, it's not any rare thing to find me clicking through that kind of the documentaries about the bigger cases, people that, you know, bad people. What is it about that that's almost compelling? You know, what does it say about the human psyche that we like to watch and we like to hear about some of the darkest things that we can get up to as humans? Not that we enjoy it or the thrill of it, but there's something very intriguing about all of that, don't you think? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I've really given a heck of an insight into my psyche there. I don't know. But I'm going to put on some tunes. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. And I'm going to be back in a little minute. And we'll wrap this up and we'll go and get the Nano Girl. Oh, yeah. Magic fungi in the chat room, love it. Do you like to have fungi with your fungi? It says catching up here, but the astronaut and the architecture looks a lot like diver's suit. Spot on, my friend. Absolutely great shout. I like the powers of observation coming from the fungi on the fungi. Big shout out to Kevin Nacy for joining me on last night's Kev Baker show. Definitely wouldn't have been on air without him last night. Thank you all today for being here, because I wouldn't be coming here if I didn't have all of you people to talk to. So hats off, but I can't take my hat off because I've got lockdown dome. Yes, it's here, there, and everywhere. It looks like I'm on one of those Tesla coils. Was it the Van de Graaff machine that you used to put your hands on at school and your hair would go all spooky, weird high? And then you get some jackass coming along and cracking you with that big metal dome. Remember that big metal dome? Oh, hang on. Is that what... we need to get back to the space aliens. Where are they? Where's our space aliens? Is that what it is? Is it a Van de Graaff that one's got? There we go. I almost started talking about that without showing you. Look. But somebody shouted out diver suit. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Very astute observation. And, yes. Who knows? The mystery, the plot, it all thickens and deepens. And tonight on the main Kev Baker show, we have got, for all of you, let me pull it up here, episode 1421, no less. There she is, the nano girl. She is waiting in the green room right now. She is. I would say she's preparing her lines, getting her script. One last look at it. We don't do scripting on the Kev Baker show. Well, Nano does, kind of. Because she puts together some fabulous PowerPoint presentations to go along with the actual show. And if you want to do that... oh, Nano Girl's come in with an interesting one. Hang on now. I'm going to post this link in the chat room. Hold up. That's how you get there, okay? But Nano Girl has made an interesting observation. She has indeed. She said, I want to pull it up so I get it right. What about the rocks on Easter Island? There is something Easter Islandy about this nativity scene. I feel you, Nano. I get you. I do get you. And what are these two pillars as well? What are these two pillars? Are they the monolith? Is that the monolith? Like, you remember that monolith? Remember that thing? Are these the monoliths? Is that what it looks like when it opens up? When it splits in half? And out walk through the interdimensional elevator doors. That bad boy there. Now that would be utterly terrifying. It would be.
Excuse me, it's man.
Said nothing about who you were or what you were. That button, it needs to start. It needs to fix itself. It needs to fix itself. But listen, folks, thank you all so much for being here, for being with me. Thank you for all of your messages as well, off air. Means the world to me. It's definitely helped to perk me up a little bit during these pesky times. And I'll be live in 20 minutes with the Nano Girl over on the main Kev Baker show on tfrlive.com. And also, if you're on Discord, you might even be able to watch the Kev Baker show in there, because I usually like to click live, and we get the chat room in there. You get the chat room over at TFR. It's like 2 chat rooms for the price of absolutely none. None. And on our way out today, I'm going to pay homage to our members so far. Yes, here comes a dopamine hit for all of you people that have stepped up to the mark. So to thank you all, I'm just going to read out the names that we've got here, your YouTube names from the list, and I will be back again very, very soon, folks, with Nano Girl. Hope you can join me for that one. Nano always puts together a really cracking show. And then add to that our natural chemistry. And I think that's what makes the old Nano Nights and the new Nano Nights really, really good listens. So, in no particular order, well, I think there is an order, but maybe not. We have got Spooky Andy, Dina G, Becky Anglin, Mish Broom, Littlefoot, Vagabond Heart, Mr. Nacy. Nacy's Quantum, because he's also the megaphone man. He's got 2 memberships. Wow. We've got Connie, Steph Bliss, Greg Silverado, Rose, Bella, Orangehead, aka Polyfruit, Malaya, Algo, Mammoth, King Sweet, Brian Hardwick. We've got Jeff Roberts, my fellow Scots person, Cassie. We have got Pollination, Adrian, Armand. Now, I think Adrian and Armand are the same person as well, but I might be wrong. We have got one of our guests from the Kev Baker Show in Warrior Mode, Steve Hodgson. We have got Ms. Space Cake, love that name. We've got Mannerus, Costa Monster, Tiffany, Edward L, Mr. D Ball Money. We've got the Renzo Scriber, check out her channel. Digital Tundra, the amazing, the brilliant, the Gherkins over in Poland, Karen. We've got Chris Smith, Carla Atkins, Dreams 426, The Boss, Lisa Rue. We've got First Paranormal, check out his channel. Brian is in there, Brian Cantonell, or Canotel. We have got Zoe Buttercup, Leslie Dickey, Marcia Robbins, the brilliant Billy Joe. We've got Queen Goddess, Luna, the amazing, brilliant Nancy, shout out to Canada. We've got Carol, Motzinger, Sam, Jules, and last, but definitely not least, it's our brother from a Norwegian mother, our very own Viking, Sidvich. And on that note, I bid you all farewell, but not for long. I will see you again in less than 20 minutes' time. The Kev Baker Show goes live. Today we're getting into the big decision with the Nano Girl. Thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping it real. And keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. And the black goo guy is back, folks. He's back. We're going to be doing a black goo review very soon. Keep it real. I'm out of here.